Olivia drove the old truck deep into the forest. Lyra sat quietly beside her, pressing a cloth to her wound. The silver blood had slowed, but Lyra looked pale and tired. "Turn here," Olivia said, pointing to a small dirt road nearly hidden by bushes. "My grandmother's cabin is just up this path." The cabin was small and dusty. No one had been there for at least a year. Olivia helped Lyra inside and laid her on the old couch. "I need my medical kit," Lyra said, pointing to the container they had brought from the ship. Olivia opened it. Inside were strange tools and bottles filled with colored liquids. Nothing looked like normal medical supplies. "The blue vial," Lyra said. "Put 3 drops on my wound." Olivia did as she was told. The silver blood sizzled when the blue liquid touched it. Lyra bit her lip in pain but didn't cry out. Slowly, the wound began to close. "You're not from Earth," Olivia said. It wasn't a question. Lyra looked at her with those strange galaxy eyes. "No, I come from a world orbiting a star you call Vega. My people are called the Celestial Dominion." "Like an empire?" Olivia asked. "Yes, we rule many star systems across 3 arms of the galaxy," Lyra said. She sat up, already looking stronger. "I am Crown Princess Lyra, daughter of Empress Selena, ruler of the Celestial Dominion." Olivia sat down hard on a chair. "A princess? I rescued an alien princess? And now you are involved in royal politics," Lyra said. Her face looked sad. "I did not wish this for you." "What happened? Why are you running? Who's chasing you?" Lyra stood up and walked to the window. She checked outside before speaking. "My uncle, Grand Admiral Vex, has betrayed us. He tried to kill me and plans to take the throne." Lyra's voice was bitter. "He made a deal with the Void Collective, beings that destroy whole civilizations. Together they plan to rule through fear and power, not the peace my mother built." "But why come to Earth?" Olivia asked. "I didn't mean to. My ship was damaged in the escape. Earth was the closest habitable world where I could make repairs." Lyra turned to face Olivia. "My people are long-lived but few in number. We rule through advanced technology and careful diplomacy. My uncle wants to change that." Lyra touched a band on her wrist. Suddenly, the small cabin was filled with light. Olivia gasped as star maps appeared in the air. Thousands of stars connected by lines of light. "This is the Celestial Dominion," Lyra said, pointing to the largest cluster of stars. "And this," she pointed to a small blue dot at the edge, "is your Earth. You are unknown to most galactic powers, which is why I hope to hide here." Suddenly, Olivia's phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out. On the screen were images that couldn't possibly be there. They showed huge black ships entering Earth's orbit. The images didn't look like they came from any app she had. "How is this on my phone?" she asked, showing Lyra. Lyra's eyes widened in fear. "Hunter-seekers. They've tracked my vessel's quantum signature. My ship's AI is connected to your device. It's warning us." "Those ships are in Earth's orbit right now?" Olivia felt cold with fear. "Yes, they will send down search teams." Lyra looked around the cabin. "We cannot stay here." Rain began to fall outside. Night was coming fast. Olivia thought about her normal life, now seemingly a million miles away. Classes, friends, her tiny apartment, all of it felt like another world now. "What do they want from you?" Olivia asked. Lyra touched her chest. "I carry something called the Celestial Key. It is partly physical, partly data. It contains access codes to all Dominion defense systems and weapons. Without it, my uncle's coup will fail. With it, he can destroy thousands of worlds, including Earth." A noise outside made them both freeze. Olivia peeked through the window curtain. What she saw made her blood run cold. Floating above the trees were what looked like metal drones. They were smooth and black, making no sound as they moved. Below them, figures in liquid metal armor walked through the forest. They didn't move like humans. Their steps were too smooth, too perfect. "They found us," Olivia whispered. Lyra moved quickly. "Is there another way out?" "The cellar. It has a tunnel my grandfather built during some war. It comes out near the creek." They grabbed the medical kit and hurried to the kitchen. Olivia pulled up an old rug, revealing a trap door. They climbed down into the dark cellar just as something hit the cabin door hard. "This way," Olivia said, leading Lyra to a narrow tunnel entrance hidden behind old shelves. They crawled through the earthy tunnel for what felt like forever. Finally, they reached the end. A small door led them out into the rainy forest near a creek. As they emerged, a blue flash lit up the night sky. They turned to see the cabin explode in blue flame that burned despite the rain. "They will not find our bodies and will search the area," Lyra said. "We have perhaps an hour before they realize we escaped." They ran through the forest, the rain soaking them both. Olivia led them to a road where they might find help. From a ridge, they looked back at the burning cabin. "Your world is now a battlefield," Lyra whispered as they watched the inferno from the distant ridge. "And you, Olivia Mason, have just become the most important human in the galaxy. What do we do now?" Olivia asked, shivering from both cold and fear. "We need transportation. Somewhere to hide while I contact loyal forces." Lyra looked at the road below. "And I need to teach you about what we face." "Why me? I'm nobody, just a student who can't even pay her loans." Lyra put a hand on Olivia's shoulder. Her touch was warm despite the cold rain. "You helped me when you could have left me. You showed courage and kindness. Those are rare qualities in any species." Lyra's galaxy eyes seemed to see into Olivia's soul. Sometimes the universe chooses the most unlikely heroes. A truck appeared on the road below. Olivia waved her arms and the truck stopped. The driver was an old man who looked surprised to see two women in the middle of nowhere during a storm. "You girls need help?" he asked. "Our car broke down," Olivia lied. "We need to get to the next town." The man looked doubtful but opened the door. "Hop in. I'm headed to Port Angeles." As they drove away, Olivia looked back at the blue flame still visible in the distance. Her old life was gone, burned away like the cabin. Ahead was something new and terrifying. Lyra squeezed her hand. "I will protect you," she whispered. "As you protected me." Olivia nodded, but inside she wondered, how could anyone protect Earth from what was coming? Olivia Mason liked looking at stars. She was a student who studied astronomy at Pacific Coast University. She had lots of student debt and didn't know what she would do after school. Most nights, Olivia went to the campus observatory. She felt peaceful there, away from her problems. One night, Olivia was looking through the big telescope. She noticed something strange. A bright object was falling through the sky toward Earth. It wasn't a normal meteor. It moved differently. Olivia tracked its path and figured out it would land in the forest near Olympic Peninsula, not too far away. Most people would have called someone about this, maybe the police or a science professor. Not Olivia. She was too curious. She asked her roommate if she could borrow her old truck. Her roommate Kate was half asleep, but said yes. Olivia drove all night through dark roads. She used the coordinates she had calculated to find where the object would land. As the sun began to rise, she finally reached the area. She parked the truck and walked through the trees. The smell of burnt wood and hot metal filled the air. Through a clearing, Olivia saw it. A crashed ship, half buried in the ground. It didn't look like any aircraft she had ever seen. The metal was smooth and seemed to shimmer with colors that changed when she moved. There were no seams or rivets like normal planes or ships. Strange marks covered its surface like writing that moved when she tried to focus on it. "This can't be from Earth," Olivia whispered to herself. Her heart beat fast. She took out her phone to take pictures, but it wouldn't work near the ship. Olivia slowly walked around the crashed vessel. It was about the size of a small house. The crash had made a long path of broken trees and torn earth, but the ship itself wasn't badly damaged. It looked almost intact. As she got closer, something happened. A section of the smooth hull slid open without making any sound. It created a doorway into darkness. Olivia stopped. This was crazy. She should leave and tell someone. But who would believe her? By the time she came back with others, the ship might be gone. "Hello?" she called out. No answer. With her heart hammering in her chest, Olivia decided to look inside. She took out her flashlight and stepped through the opening. Inside, the ship was even stranger. The walls glowed with soft blue light that seemed to come from nowhere. The air felt different, cleaner somehow. The corridors curved in gentle ways that felt natural. Everything inside seemed alive in some way. Panels pulsed with light like heartbeats. As Olivia moved deeper into the ship, she heard a soft sound. Someone was breathing. She followed the sound to a larger room that must have been the control center. Screens with unknown symbols floated in the air without any support. In the center of the room, someone was lying on the floor. It looked like a woman, but like no woman Olivia had ever seen. Her skin had an opal-like quality that reflected light in rainbow patterns. Her hair was silver, not gray like an old person's, but truly silver like flowing metal. And when the woman opened her eyes, Olivia gasped. Her eyes contained what looked like swirling galaxies. The woman was hurt. A wound across her stomach leaked a silvery liquid that must have been her blood. She wore what seemed to be armor, but it moved like fabric. When the strange woman saw Olivia, she tried to move away, but was too weak. "It's okay," Olivia said. "I won't hurt you." The woman looked at Olivia for a long moment. Then, to Olivia's shock, she spoke in perfect English. "They must not find me." Her voice was beautiful but strange. It seemed to have extra tones that made Olivia's skin tingle. "Help me and your world lives. Abandon me and your species dies." Olivia didn't fully understand what the woman meant, but the danger in her voice was clear. "Who's looking for you?" Olivia asked. "There is no time to explain here," the alien woman said. "They track this vessel. We must leave now." "You're hurt," Olivia said. "You need medical help. I have healing technology, but not here. In my personal storage." The woman pointed to a small container nearby. "Help me stand." Olivia hesitated only for a second before going to the alien. She put her arm around the woman's waist, careful to avoid her wound. The alien was surprisingly light, as if she had hollow bones like a bird. "My name is Olivia," she said, as she helped the woman stand. "I am called Lyra," the alien replied, "and you have just involved yourself in a war that spans galaxies, Olivia of Earth." Together they made their way out of the ship. Lyra carried the small container that supposedly held medical supplies. Outside, the morning sun was fully up now. Lyra seemed hurt by the bright light, squinting in pain. "Where can we go?" Lyra asked. "Somewhere hidden," Olivia thought quickly. "My grandmother had a cabin in these woods. No one uses it anymore since she died. It's about 20 miles from here." As they reached the truck, Olivia heard a distant sound. It was like helicopters, but not quite right. Lyra's face showed fear. "Hunter drones," she said. "They've found my ship already. Drive quickly, Olivia of Earth. Your truck's primitive technology might actually help us. It will be harder for them to track than my advanced systems." As Olivia started the old truck, she looked at the alien woman beside her. What had she gotten herself into? Part of her wanted to drop this strange being off somewhere and forget everything she had seen, but a bigger part was filled with wonder and excitement. "Hold on," Olivia said as she drove the truck away from the crash site. "I have a feeling this is going to be a rough ride." Lyra looked out the window at the Earth forest with curious eyes. "You have no idea, Olivia of Earth. You have no idea." For 3 days, Olivia and Lyra moved across the Pacific Northwest. They stayed in cheap motels, paying with cash Olivia had saved for her next semester's books. They avoided cameras and crowded places. Lyra's unusual appearance drew too much attention, so she wore a hoodie and sunglasses when they had to be around others. During this time, Olivia and Lyra grew closer. They shared stories of their very different lives. Olivia talked about growing up with a single mom, her love of stars, and her dream to work for a space agency. Lyra spoke of her home world, with its crystal cities and 3 moons. She told Olivia about growing up as royalty, learning diplomacy and warfare from birth. "Your world seems so peaceful compared to the battles we fought," Lyra said as they sat in a motel room one night. "Earth has plenty of wars too," Olivia replied. "We're not that different," Lyra smiled. "Perhaps that's why I feel connected to you. You understand the weight of responsibility." But Lyra's health was getting worse. The wound had healed on the outside, but something was wrong inside. She grew pale and had moments where she couldn't stand without help. "What's happening to you?" Olivia asked as she helped Lyra sit down after a dizzy spell. Lyra touched her chest where a faint glow could sometimes be seen under her skin. "The celestial key, my body is rejecting it." "What does that mean?" "The key is partly biological. It bonds with the host DNA, but the assassination attempt damaged the connection." Lyra looked at Olivia with serious eyes. "It must be transferred to a compatible host until I can reach the Regency Council." "Another host? Like another person from your world?" "Ideally, yes. But there are none here. Lyra hesitated. There is another option, you. Olivia laughed nervously. Me, I'm human. How could I possibly be compatible? That's what's remarkable. When I scanned you with my medical tools, I found your DNA has a rare pattern. It's similar enough to my species that the key might accept you temporarily. Before Olivia could respond, her phone buzzed with the same strange connection to Lyra's ship AI. It showed a map with red dots moving toward their location. They found us again, Olivia said. How do they keep tracking us? The key. Its energy signature is unique. Lyra stood up, fighting through her weakness. We need to leave. They stole a car from the motel parking lot. Olivia felt bad about it, but Lyra assured her they could return it later. They drove north, hoping to lose their pursuers in the mountains. The stolen car ran out of gas near an abandoned mining town. Old wooden buildings stood empty along a single dirt street. The mine entrance was visible on the hillside above the town. We can hide in the mine, Olivia suggested, at least until we figure out our next move. The mine was dark and cold. Using flashlights they'd bought at a gas station, they made their way deep into the mountain. Old mining equipment lay rusted and forgotten around them. They found a larger chamber where miners once took breaks. It had a table and some broken chairs. Lyra collapsed into one, her breathing labored. I'm running out of time, she said. The key is failing. If it dies with me, all hope for my people dies too. Billions will suffer under my uncle's rule. Olivia felt the weight of the situation crushing down on her. A week ago, her biggest worry was passing exams. Now she was hiding in a mine with an alien princess while being hunted by space assassins. What do we do? She asked. Lyra opened her medical kit and removed a small device that looked like a silver disc. We transfer the key to you. Is it safe? I won't lie to you. It will be painful and there are risks, but I believe you can handle it. Lyra's galaxy eyes seemed to glow in the dim light. The key will give you access to knowledge and power beyond anything humans have imagined. You will be able to activate my personal ship that waits hidden in orbit. Your ship? I thought your ship crashed. That was a scout vessel. My warship, the Starlight Sovereign, is cloaked in orbit around your moon. My loyal crew waits there but cannot act without the key's command codes. A noise echoed from the mine entrance, metal clanging against rock. The hunters had found them. We have no more time, Lyra said urgently. Will you accept the key? Will you help save not just my world but yours too? Olivia thought about her life, her dreams, her future. Then she thought about what would happen if Lyra's uncle got the key. Earth would be just another target for him. I'll do it, she said. Lyra placed the silver disc on Olivia's chest. Then she cut her own palm with a small knife from the kit. Silver blood welled up. She pressed her bleeding hand against Olivia's forehead. This will forge a neural connection, Lyra explained. The key needs both physical and mental pathways to transfer. Lyra began speaking in a language Olivia didn't understand. The silver disc grew warm, then hot against Olivia's skin. Lyra's silver blood seemed to move on its own, forming patterns on Olivia's skin. Pain shot through Olivia's body. It felt like fire in her veins. She wanted to scream but couldn't make a sound. Images flashed in her mind. Strange worlds, battles in space, faces of beings not human. The pain reached a peak that Olivia thought would kill her. Then suddenly it was gone. In its place was knowledge. So much knowledge. Star maps, languages, weapon systems, battle strategies, diplomatic protocols, and access codes. Endless strings of codes that somehow made perfect sense to her. Olivia gasped as the connection broke. Lyra fell back into her chair, looking even weaker than before. It's done, Lyra whispered. You now hold the fate of countless civilizations, including the override codes for my personal warship. Olivia felt different. Her mind worked faster. She could remember things she'd never learned. She knew how to fly a spaceship, how to activate weapons that could destroy planets, how to negotiate peace treaties between species she'd never heard of. The sounds of the hunters grew closer. They had maybe minutes before they were found. What now? Olivia asked. Now you use the key. Lyra pointed to the silver disc, now seemingly melded with Olivia's skin over her heart. Think about the transport system. Activate it. Olivia closed her eyes. Somehow she knew exactly what to do. In her mind, she visualized a code sequence, focusing on the coordinates stored in her new memories. Light surrounded them. The mine disappeared. When the light faded, they were standing in a gleaming white room. Control panels lined the walls. Through a large window, Olivia could see the curved surface of the moon and, beyond it, the blue sphere of Earth. They were aboard the Starlight Sovereign. A group of beings that looked similar to Lyra stood around them, wearing what appeared to be uniforms. They stared in shock at Olivia. "Princess Lyra!" one of them exclaimed, rushing forward to help the weakened princess. "The key has been transferred," Lyra said, gesturing to Olivia. "She is its keeper now. The ship will recognize her as commander." A stern-looking female officer stepped forward. She had the same opalescent skin as Lyra, but her hair was cut short and her eyes held stars of a colder blue light. "You've entrusted our civilization's survival to a primitive?" she asked, looking at Olivia with doubt. "I've entrusted it to the only being who helped me without question," Lyra replied. "This is Commander Ilara, my security chief," she told Olivia. "The ship's systems are pinging," said another officer at a control panel. They recognized the key's signature. "They're waiting for command authorization." All eyes turned to Olivia. She stepped forward, somehow knowing what to do. She placed her hand on the control panel. Words in an alien language appeared, but Olivia could read them now. "I am Olivia Mason of Earth," she said clearly, "temporary bearer of the celestial key. I authorize full systems activation. Command code Stellar Phoenix 97 Omega." The ship hummed to life around them. Lights brightened. New displays appeared showing ship status, weapons readiness, and star charts. "The Starlight Sovereign recognizes you," Commander Ilara said with reluctant respect. "What are your orders?" Olivia looked at Lyra, who nodded encouragingly. "Prepare the ship for combat," Olivia said, surprised at the confidence in her own voice. "It's time to bring the fight to Admiral Vex." The Starlight Sovereign moved away from Earth, accelerating faster than any human spacecraft ever could. Olivia stood on the bridge, watching her home planet shrink to a blue marble, then a tiny dot, and then vanish altogether as the ship jumped into what Lyra called fold space. The stars stretched into lines of light, and Olivia felt a strange pulling sensation throughout her body. Then everything snapped back to normal. They had traveled thousands of light years in seconds. "We've arrived at the edge of Dominion space," Commander Ilara announced. Olivia looked at the main view screen. What she saw made her gasp. Dozens of planets and moons orbited multiple stars, but many were surrounded by the wreckage of ships and stations. Some worlds glowed with fire visible even from space. "My uncle's work," Lyra said grimly. She had recovered some strength after receiving medical treatment from the ship's doctors. "He's using void collective world breakers to force planets to surrender." "World breakers?" Olivia asked. "Planet-killing weapons," Commander Ilara explained. "They crack a world's crust and let the mantle bleed through. The population either surrenders or burns." Olivia felt sick. The celestial key inside her seemed to pulse with her anger. "How do we stop this?" "Admiral Vex commands from his flagship, the Eclipse Eternal," Lyra said. "We must confront him there. But first we need allies. Some Dominion fleets remain loyal to my mother." Over the next few days, Olivia experienced things no human ever had. The Starlight Sovereign moved from system to system, contacting loyal forces. Olivia met beings of incredible diversity. Some looked almost human, others were completely alien. Crystalline entities, gaseous beings contained in mechanical suits, creatures that looked like living shadows. Thanks to the key's knowledge, Olivia could speak to all of them. She told them of Lyra's escape, the assassination attempt, and the princess's plans to stop her uncle. Many pledged their support. The key also gave Olivia unexpected abilities. She could access and understand the ship's systems in ways even Lyra couldn't. She noticed patterns in data that others missed. She saw connections between seemingly random events. "Your human brain processes information differently," Lyra explained when Olivia mentioned this. "The key adapts to its host's natural abilities." One night, though in space day and night were artificial, Olivia stood in her quarters looking at battle plans on a floating display. Something bothered her about Admiral Vex's attack strategy. "There's a pattern here," she told Lyra, who had come to check on her. "He's not just attacking randomly. Look." Olivia rearranged the star map, highlighting certain attack points. "These worlds were hit first, then these. He's creating a specific shape." Lyra's galaxy eyes widened. "A containment pattern. He's not just destroying worlds. He's herding the survivors toward this sector." "But why?" Olivia asked. The answer came when they intercepted a transmission between Vex's forces. It revealed the Admiral's true plan. He was gathering refugees in one area to test a new weapon provided by the Void Collective, a star killer that could collapse a sun in seconds, destroying entire systems at once. He's going to murder billions to demonstrate his power, Lyra said, horrified. We have to stop him before the weapon is ready. Olivia studied the enemy fleet movements. Another pattern emerged. There's a weakness in their quantum communication system, she realized. Each ship links to the flagship through a specific frequency pattern. If we could disrupt that pattern, the fleet would be unable to coordinate, Commander Alara finished, looking at Olivia with new respect. Your human perspective sees what we've overlooked for centuries. They formed a plan. The loyal Dominion forces would launch a frontal assault on Vex's fleet, drawing attention away from the Starlight Sovereign. Meanwhile, Olivia, Lyra, and a small strike team would infiltrate the flagship to confront Vex directly and stop the Starkiller weapon. The battle began near a massive gas giant with rings of ice. Hundreds of ships clashed in spectacular combat. Energy weapons cut through space. Force shields flared as they absorbed impacts. Smaller fighters darted between capital ships like angry insects. The Starlight Sovereign moved through the chaos, its advanced cloaking system hiding it from enemy sensors. They approached the Eclipse Eternal, a massive black vessel shaped like a crescent moon. It dwarfed all other ships in the fleet. Preparing for boarding operation, Commander Alara announced. She handed Olivia a sleek pistol-like weapon. This is a neural disruptor. It won't kill, but it will incapacitate most species. Olivia took the weapon awkwardly. A week ago, she had been studying for astronomy exams. Now she was about to board an alien flagship with a gun she didn't know how to use. But the key's knowledge flowed through her mind, and suddenly she knew exactly how the disruptor worked. I'm ready, she said with more confidence than she felt. Their shuttle left the Sovereign's hangar bay and flew toward the Eclipse Eternal. Using codes extracted from intercepted communications, they bypassed the flagship security and docked at a maintenance airlock. The strike team moved through the massive ship's corridors. Lyra led the way with Olivia close behind. Commander Alara and 4 Dominion soldiers followed, weapons ready. They encountered few crew members. Most were busy with the battle raging outside. Using the key's access codes, Olivia unlocked doors and redirected security systems. They made their way to the central command deck without raising alarms. He's just ahead, Lyra whispered as they reached the main command center doors. Be ready. My uncle is dangerous and cunning. The doors slid open. The command center was a vast chamber with a domed ceiling showing the battle outside. Control stations ringed the room, staffed by officers with the same opalescent skin as Lyra. At the center stood a raised platform, where a tall figure gazed at the tactical displays. Admiral Vex turned as they entered. He looked similar to Lyra, with the same shimmering skin, but his eyes contained swirling darkness instead of stars. He was taller and broader, his face lined with age. He wore armor that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Niece, he said, his voice deep and resonant. You've saved me the trouble of hunting you down. Lyra stepped forward. Your betrayal ends here, Uncle. The loyal forces of the Dominion have come to stop you. Vex laughed. Loyal to what? Your mother's weak vision of peace and cooperation? He gestured to the battle visible through the dome. Look at what strength accomplishes. The weak bow to the strong. It is the natural order. You allied with the Void Collective, Lyra accused, beings who consume entire civilizations. They'll turn on you once they've helped you secure power. Perhaps. But by then I'll have weapons even they fear. Vex's dark eyes shifted to Olivia. The human carries the key, how disappointing. I expected better from you, niece. Vex pressed a control on his wrist. Suddenly, a wave of energy pulsed through the room. Lyra, Commander Alara, and the Dominion soldiers collapsed to the floor, paralyzed but conscious. A neural disruptor tuned to Dominion biology, Vex explained. It affects all who share our DNA. Olivia stood alone, unaffected. The Admiral looked at her with genuine surprise. What are you? He demanded. Olivia felt the key's power flowing through her. Knowledge and confidence filled her mind. She smiled grimly. Just a grad student with terrible student loans and nothing to lose. She raised her neural disruptor and fired. Vex deflected the blast with his armor, which glowed where the energy hit. Primitive weapons, he scoffed. The key is chosen poorly. Maybe, Olivia said. But this primitive noticed something your advanced mind missed. While distracting him with the shot, Olivia had used the key's access to connect with the flagship systems. She activated a specific code sequence, one she had discovered in the patterns of fleet communications. The lights in the command center flickered. Displays went dark, then came back on with new information. Around them, the sound of the ship changed, its hum shifting to a different tone. "What have you done?" Vex demanded, looking at the changing displays with alarm. "I reversed the command protocols," Olivia explained. "The flagship now recognizes Lyra as its rightful commander, and it's transmitting new orders to your fleet." Outside, enemy ships began powering down weapons. Some turned away from the battle. The coordinated attack was falling apart. Vex roared with anger. He lunged at Olivia faster than she expected. His hand closed around her throat, lifting her off the floor. "I'll tear the key from your chest, human," he growled. Olivia couldn't breathe. Black spots appeared in her vision, but the key pulsed against her skin, sending energy through her body. She placed her hand against Vex's chest and focused. A blast of energy erupted from her palm. Vex was thrown backward, crashing into his command station. Before he could recover, Olivia accessed the ship's internal defense systems. Energy fields sprang up around the Admiral, trapping him. The neural disruptor affecting Lyra and the others faded as its control systems were overridden. They got to their feet as Vex struggled against his energy prison. "It's over, Uncle," Lyra said. "Your fleet is standing down. The Regency Council has been notified of your treason." Vex glared at them with hatred in his dark eyes. "This isn't over, niece. The Void Collective won't stop because you've captured me. They want this galaxy, and they'll take it with or without my help." In the weeks that followed, the Celestial Dominion began to heal. Admiral Vex was taken to the Regency Council on the Dominion capital world. Evidence of his alliance with the Void Collective shocked even his supporters. The Council stripped him of all rank and imprisoned him in a quantum cell where he could harm no one else. Lyra worked tirelessly to rebuild what her uncle had destroyed. Worlds that had suffered under Vex's attacks received aid. Displaced people were given new homes. The damaged planets began to heal with the help of Dominion technology. Through it all, Olivia stayed at Lyra's side. The celestial key remained bonded to her. The Dominion scientists explained that removing it now could kill them both. The key had adapted too completely to Olivia's human DNA. For now, at least, she would continue as its keeper. Olivia didn't mind. The key gave her knowledge and abilities beyond anything she had imagined. She helped Lyra navigate diplomatic meetings, using her human perspective to find solutions that Dominion nobles sometimes missed. Together, they made a powerful team. But Olivia missed Earth. She missed simple things like rain, trees, and the feel of soil under her feet. Space was beautiful, but it wasn't home. One night, during a celebration aboard the Starlight Sovereign, Olivia stood in the observation dome. Below, Earth glowed blue against the blackness of space. The ship had returned to the Sol system for what Lyra called diplomatic purposes, though she hadn't explained further. Lyra found Olivia staring at her home planet. "You wish to return," she said. "It wasn't a question," Olivia sighed. "Earth is home." But after seeing all this, she gestured to the stars visible through the dome. "It will never be the same." Lyra smiled. "That is why I brought us here. I have a gift for you. Or rather, for your world." "A gift?" "The Regency Council has made its decision. With Admiral Vex defeated and the Void Collective pushed back, I must return to my duties, including—" Lyra hesitated. "An arranged marriage to the Artaxian prince. It will secure peace between our peoples." Olivia felt a strange tightness in her chest. Over these weeks, she and Lyra had grown close. Closer than friends. There had been moments, shared looks, brief touches that suggested something more. But neither had spoken of it. "I understand," Olivia said, trying to hide her disappointment. "You have responsibilities." "As do you," Lyra replied. "The key has changed you, Olivia. You are no longer just human, but not quite Dominion either. You're something new. The first of your kind." Lyra held out a small box. Inside was a beautiful circlet made of the same shimmering metal as Dominion ships. It seemed to capture and reflect starlight. "This is your gift," Lyra said. "The Council has named you Earth's first ambassador to the Celestial Dominion." Olivia stared in shock. "Ambassador?" "But I'm just a student. I don't know anything about being a diplomat," Lyra laughed. "You've helped negotiate peace between worlds at war for centuries. You've faced down my uncle in the Void Collective, And the key gives you all the protocol knowledge you need. But what about Earth? The governments don't even know about the Dominion. They will, Lyra said. Tonight, we've arranged a meeting with leaders from your major nations. It's time for Earth to join the galactic community. Olivia felt overwhelmed. Where would I even live? Go back and forth between Earth and Dominion worlds? That's the second part of the gift. Lyra pressed a control on her wrist. A hologram appeared showing Earth's moon. Part of it transformed, revealing structures built into and beneath the surface. We've been busy. This will be your embassy. Earth's first outpost among the stars. Olivia couldn't believe what she was seeing. A fully functional base with living quarters, meeting halls, laboratories, and landing pads for ships, all hidden on the far side of the moon where Earth telescopes couldn't see. We've terraformed a small area inside, Lyra continued. It has earth plants, a lake, even weather systems. A piece of home among the stars. This is incredible, Olivia whispered. But what about my life on Earth? My studies, my friends? You can return whenever you wish, and bring others to learn and grow. Your world will have access to technology centuries beyond your current understanding. Not weapons, we've learned that lesson, but medical advances, clean energy, faster than light communications. Earth will never be the same, Olivia realized. Change comes to all worlds eventually, Lyra said. Better it comes with a guide who cares about her people. Olivia touched the circlet in the box. Ambassador Olivia Mason, it seemed impossible. There's one more thing, Lyra said, her voice softer now. A personal gift. What's that? My royal decree has created a new position. Principal advisor to the crown. The arrangement with the Artaxian prince can wait a few centuries. Olivia's heart skipped. What are you saying? Lyra took Olivia's hands in hers. I'm saying that some bonds transcend duty. What started as necessity, your rescue, the key's transfer, has become something more. At least for me. For me too, Olivia admitted. The feelings she had been avoiding saying out loud finally had space to breathe. But your responsibilities include choosing advisors I trust completely, Lyra finished. The council cannot object to that, especially after your role in stopping my uncle. Lyra stepped closer. Her galaxy eyes reflected the stars around them. In time, the key can be removed safely. You can choose to remain partly Dominion or return to being fully human. But either way, if you want it, there is a place for you with me. Their lips met and the neural connection between them reignited. Olivia saw glimpses of possible futures, adventures across galaxies, diplomatic missions to impossible worlds, quiet moments in moonlit gardens, and nights spent learning the secrets of each other's hearts. When they finally pulled apart, Olivia looked out at Earth below and the vast universe beyond. A week ago, she had been a struggling student with dreams of reaching the stars someday. Now those stars were within her grasp, along with something she hadn't even known to dream about. What do you say? Lyra asked. Ambassador Mason? Olivia smiled and placed the circlet on her head. It felt right, as if it had been made for her, which she realized it had been. I came looking for falling stars, she told Lyra, and found an entire universe instead. Later that night, in the great meeting hall of the Starlight Sovereign, Earth's leaders gathered, their faces showing shock, wonder, and hope as they looked upon beings from other worlds for the first time. Olivia stood beside Lyra, wearing her ambassador's circlet, ready to help her world take its first steps into a larger galaxy. As the formal introductions began, Olivia caught Lyra's eye. The princess, her princess, smiled in a way only Olivia would understand. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Human and alien, ambassador and princess, two beings from different worlds who had found each other among the countless stars. The celestial key pulsed gently against Olivia's heart, a reminder of how this all began. A crashed ship, a wounded princess, a choice to help rather than turn away. The most ordinary of decisions had led to the most extraordinary of rewards, and this, Olivia knew, was just the beginning.